Welcome back to Titan Table Talk. Joining us now is men's basketball coach Ron Rose. And Coach Rose, tough day on Saturday against North Central.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit from your viewpoint.
Well, I thought we played a terrific first half. You know, one of the best halves of basketball we played all year. Went into halftime up 44-30, built it to an 18-point lead. And then we struggled. There was the middle section of the second half. We didn't score the ball very well. North Central became very aggressive. We didn't react as well to it as we needed to. Cody Mitchell was on the bench in foul trouble, which he's become such an important part of everything that we do on both ends of the floor. North Central took the lead, and I was really pleased with our response to that, is that not only did they take the lead, but we bounced back and reclaimed the lead late, and they hit a last-second shot to put it into overtime, and then they beat us in overtime. So it was a heartbreaking loss, just because, I really feel for my group. When you look at our season and how well we've played against some of the top teams in the region and the country, we take the number one team in the country to overtime. We take the two top teams in our region. One beat us on the last second. Both beat us on last second shots. We've had some really challenging losses, yet our guys show up every day to work. They've maintained a great attitude. I kind of using the boxing analogy, the match, it isn't over till you don't get up. And our guys have continued to get up, continued to work, continued to be positive, great teammates. And so I'm really hopeful that, there's some good things happening here at the end of the year, that they get rewarded, because even through some of the disappointing losses, this has been a great group to coach.
Now, I do have to ask, that shot at the end of regulation where they tied it, was it a 2 or 3-pointer?
At the end of regulation, it was about a 35-footer.
So that comes back to that question, foul or not.
Yeah,
and that's a tough call.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, I apologize to our guys. We're shooting a free throw up 3, and I considered calling a timeout, which is the traditional wisdom to do to set up fouling, and my gut said let it roll. Let it roll. Let's go up 4 and put it away. I didn't want to break the rhythm of the game. Clearly the wrong mistake on my part. And, it was one of those gut decisions that ended up costing us. And had I called that timeout, that is what we would have done. But I didn't give them the instruction they needed. So I told the players, that one's on me. Our guys played hard enough to win the game. And, Derek, over the course of my career, there are a handful of games as a coach, you look back and you really regret the decision. You feel like the decisions that you make end up having a negative impact for your team. And crazy enough, I don't understand how this works, the brain functions, but there are times I'll wake up 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning thinking about a game 20 years ago and a decision I made, and I think this will be one of them.
Yeah. Well, and the only reason I asked that question, we had that discussion earlier this season on how to handle that. It does sound like the men's team, though, they're just that one little, and I don't know what it is, but that one little thing that they could just suddenly click and just go on a run.
Yeah, we've been so close to being that team, and we've strung a couple really good games together, and then like the North Central would have been 3 in a row for us, and we haven't been able to take that step, and but there, we've got 2 regular season games left. We are still not. We're still in a position that we could get 3rd, or we could get 7th, and so it's crazy. It comes down to the last 2. I really do believe we're playing pretty good basketball. Certainly, there are still areas of improvement, but we are playing good enough basketball to beat anybody that we face.
Well, if you remember last week, after we were done with the interview, I kind of gave you the scenario for women's basketball, how crazy it could be.
Sure.
The men's basketball is that crazy right now.
Oh, it's been unbelievable. For the last 2-3 weeks, you look at the shuffling of the deck, and every Wednesday and Saturday, things change. A team like Carroll that after we played them, we're 1-10, I believe, in the conference have run off 2 in a row at home. And so in any given night, any team in our conference can win. And I think that's one of the unique things about the CCIW. There are some conferences that the top 2 or 3 teams, always beat the bottom teams. That has never been true in the CCIW.
Well, it is possible in the CCIW this year for 4 of you to tie at 8-8.
Yeah.
And it's not just a pipe dream here on my side of the microphone. It's very realistic. As I was talking with Tyler earlier, Carthage could easily lose their 2. They have to play Wheaton and yourself, so that would knock them to 8-8. North Central, that's one of Carthage's games. If North Central beats them, they're 8-8. You beat Carthage also, they're 8-8. Elmhurst has a top of the conference and a bottom of the conference game, and then you pull off the one against Carthage, and then you have to play North Park yet. So
yeah, there's a lot to be determined, and every one of those games, even if you look at each of the games, they're close. I mean, there's rarely games that are decided by 10 points or more. And, that is the unique part of the CCIW. It's the hardest part, I think, for young guys to understand is you have to be ready to play every night. And if you're not ready to play, you usually lose.
Well, let's talk about being ready to play Wednesday night. You go to North Park. We talked early in the season, secrets to winning in the CCIW standings is sneaking one out on the road.
Yeah.
So going up to Chicago, North Park Gymnasium, take on North Park, what's it going to take to bring home that victory?
Well, they're the quickest team in the conference. They pick up full court. They really try to take you out of your half-court sets. And ultimately, it's taking care of the basketball on the offensive end, or on the defensive end. They are very quick at handling the ball and getting to the basket. You have to protect the paint area, and that's a lot easier said than done. They've had a terrific season. They've got 2 fifth-year post players, the Boyd twins, back that have had tremendous seasons, and then they've brought in Sean Smith, their new coach, brought in 9 transfers. And he's done a nice job of meshing them, but they are very athletic, very quick. I thought it was a game here that was very competitive that could have gone either way, but we turned the ball over too many times, and that's going to be the challenge we have when we head up there on Wednesday.
Well, you go up there on Wednesday, you come back on Saturday for Carthage, and I'm not going to ask you about Carthage because you got too much on your mind with North Park, but it is senior day.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit first about Lucas Heflin.
Yeah, senior day is always a big day. Especially for the seniors, and their families, but also for everyone. You always want to try to send your seniors out with a win at the Shirk Center. These 2 guys are program guys. They're guys that came in, been with us for 4 years, have worked tremendously hard. And when you look at both of those young men, you see an immense amount of growth, both on the court, but also off the court. I'm very proud of both these guys in terms of watching how they've grown as people, as men, and then also as players. They've completely transformed their game in their 4 years and have become just tremendous players and leaders within our program.
Oh, you kind of talked about both of them there. Cody Mitchell, what's in their future?
I guess you asked me specifically.
That's fine. I asked you about Lucas, but
yeah.
You talked about Cody also. What's in their future? What are they looking at doing as they go forward?
Well, both are going to have lots of options. That's always the goal, I think, as a coach at the college level, is you hope these guys come in and then have a lot of different options that they, one of the advantages of doing well in the classroom, doing well on the court is that you don't have to just take whatever job you can get. You can be a little selective, and I think both guys are going to be. I think both at this stage are focusing on the season. Once the season's over, they will start their job search or the search for what they're going to do next year.
So hopefully that search won't start until the end of March.
That is the hope. In all honesty, I do believe we get in that tournament, we're going to be a tough out, and some of the things that we've had to deal with, and the team that we're going to have to develop into, I sure hope we get that opportunity.
Well, and the tough thing for the CCIW is if you don't win the conference tournament, you may not make the NCAA tournament. The only 2 who might have a chance at beating that would be Wheaton and North Park with their records at 20-3 and 18-5 at the moment.
Yeah. That's last year we went into the conference tournament knowing we were going to be in the NCAA tournament. And I'll say this, last year's team, knowing that we were in, maybe we didn't have the edge that we needed. This year, knowing that's our only opportunity, that's the only rope path we have to the NCAA tournament. I think that certainly, knowing that the next game could be your last certainly is a motivating factor. And we're at that right now. I mean, we know that there's no guarantee to get in the top 6 yet. We have to win a basketball game. And so we're already in postseason mode, to be honest.
Right, absolutely. A loss, well, 2 losses right now could send you home.
Correct.
Or a loss after the next 2 games will send you home.
Yep.
The only ones who, and I don't know that Wheaton and North Park, either one are safe at getting in.
Well, Wheaton is for sure.
Yeah, 20-3.
Wheaton's in, and North Park has a very good chance unless things don't play out these last few weeks. Which is also rare. I think in the CCIW, we almost always get 2. Sometimes we've gotten 3 and even as many as 4 in the NCAA tournament. This year, I think there's just more parity throughout compared to some previous seasons.
Well, and that's the tough thing with the CCIW. As good as it is, only 2 in unless somebody other than Wheaton or North Park wins.
Correct.
But any 6 teams here could make a deep run.
There's no doubt.
So there's 3 teams who are going to be going home after CCIW. At least they're saying, man, if only we could have been that team that made that big run.
Well, if you look at, there's 7 teams vying for 6 spots right now, and whoever ends up 6th in the tournament could win it. And whoever of all those 6 or 7, if you put them in the first round of the NCAA tournament, I wouldn't bet against them.
I'm right there with you. Good thing I don't bet, though. All right. Well, Coach, we appreciate you coming up here talking with us as you get ready for your game on Wednesday night and again on Saturday, and I'll see you at Senior Day.
We appreciate you being here. Rest that voice and for this final stretch run, Derek.
We will do that. He's Coach Ron Rose. I'm Derek Bohlman. You've been watching Titan Table Talk.